How's it going, everybody? Today we're going to talk about augmented reality, virtual reality, creating amazing experiences, and why brands better jump in really quickly and start doing it today. We've got Steve Deitz on the show today. I'm so excited to bring you this interview. Steve is the CEO and founder of 900 Pounds of Creative. In addition to just being an awesome guy, right? He is running this innovation lab and creative marketing agency that is doing phenomenal work with the Perot Museum here in Dallas, Shell, the Dallas Cowboys, just brand after brand after brand. And more than that, and what he'll get into as well, is the amazing good that he's doing. He and his team are doing with all of their creativity in how they're marketing these things, but they're really bringing cutting edge technology to that marketing and to these experiences. So I just want to jump right into this. If you like these kind of interviews, please subscribe, and let's go take a ride with Steve Deitz. Mr. Steve Deitz.
How are you, sir?
Welcome to the show.
I am excited to be here.
I hope so, and I'm excited to be in Bishop Arts. Surprisingly, never been down here before, so you're going to guide me around and point out some great things.
Let's take a tour.
Tell me which way to go. Tell me which way not to go, maybe.
right, there you go.
But this will be great.
Going straight will get us right into the epicenter.
So, just to make you uncomfortable right off the bat, what I found out, you don't like being called, but you are the CEO of 900 Pounds.
Yes.
And give me the full name, and I want the background on this name and what you guys do.
900 Pounds of Creative, and sometimes we like to drop the creative because 900 pounds is already creative enough as a name. But we started about 7.5 years ago, and at one time it was the combined weight of our team, which is really, really cool. We've come a long way. But I tell you, the thing is the 800-pound gorilla, the marketing term. That was where we kind of derived the name, and we came up with about 900 names trying to figure that thing out. So we worked really hard, and out of our focus group, top 10 names, that was the one that was the most absurd, if you will. So we decided to go with that one, and it's very sticky. So playing off Malcolm Gladwell's tipping point reference of being sticky, definitely a sticky name. You don't forget it. You definitely remember it. So
I love
that's where it came from.
So what do you guys do?
We do experiential marketing, innovation, and we basically utilize emerging technology to create wow experiences. So those interactive experiences, experiential, and then of course content, visual storytelling. You can't have a good experience without a great story, and you can't have a great story without some nice technology to reach the new consumers and the new audience these days that expect interactivity, expect something to get immersed in. So anything from virtual reality to augmented reality to technology-based experiences.
And I've seen several examples of your work. The great Paula Jean sent over to me, and just incredible stuff. And I want to dive into more of that because I want to make sure everybody understands what the heck you just said, all the way down of, you know what I mean? Yeah. And until you've seen it, you don't fully understand it. We get that explanation. But before that, I want a little background on starting the company and even your background leading up to it.
I appreciate the question. I was raised in Abilene in a very non-technology based area, but I grew up playing video games just like many others, and kind of complemented that with outdoor activities and adventures. But I think being 38 years old and growing up, being let's say a 7-year-old kid or 8-year-old kid in the mid 80s, and Nintendo's out, you're playing Tecmo Bowl and Excite Bike and Contra, and at that age, I think I'm at a nice area of having that upbringing with technology. And one thing led to another. I majored in design communication at Texas Tech. Being raised in Abilene, it was right down the road. I wanted to stay close to home, and being there, we were just now getting in computers, of course, a couple years before that when I was in high school and everything. So it was an exciting time. I wanted to get myself immersed as much as possible and use that technology to create great design and great marketing and great strategy there in college. So after college, went off and worked for an investment firm in their marketing department. It was a small company that was eventually sold, and I got some really good experience of working for a small company. 9/11 happened, I got laid off. After that, went over to, I got hired the very next day, so I took my 3-month severance and just put it right in the bank. And
nice.
Most thought I'd go straight to California and play beach volleyball for a couple of months on the beach, but went and got a job at a small agency in Plano called One Roof. And from there, I got a lot of experience on product design and marketing and product launches, and then of course some web-based stuff as well. And got my taste of interactivity there. And after that, I started freelancing. I did that for about 3 or 4 years, contract worked after getting a nice couple years of experience at One Roof. And, you know, after freelancing for a couple years, we got so much work that I got so much work, way more than I could handle. So started bringing on people. So it was natural to collaborate with my old colleague at One Roof, and we started 900 Pounds together. And so that's been about 7.5 years ago, and it's been an incredible journey. And so that's kind of how we got to this point. And I can go on and on about 900 Pounds, the diverse range of clients we work with and beginning opportunities, but I'll let you chime in, of course.
Well, no, yeah, I mean, I want to dive into all of that, especially getting into some of the examples of the latest stuff that I've seen with Vespa and the Pro and all these cool creative things. But go into a little bit of how did you get to this sort of specialty? I mean, was it always the interactive side of things, or did it start out a little more traditional as far as marketing and advertising?
Great question. So my business partner Josh was based in Hawaii, and at that time he had a contact over at the Mavericks, and so I was here freelancing, and basically we had an opportunity to work with the Mavs and do content for the Jumbotron. So that was our first presentation that we created. I worked, damn near all night, and so did he, putting this thing together. And we had 12 ideas, concepts, and they bought 4 of them on the spot.
Wow.
And so next thing you know, we have the Mavericks as our first client, a pretty loud channel to a lot of people.
Heck yeah.
And that was pretty special. So we worked with them and after a year or two, we got the attention of Activision, who's a sponsor of the Mavericks. And they're just incredible to work with. We work with them a lot still to this point. And of course, there's where the gaming comes into play, and of course the interactive. But with Activision, we do a lot of work with them every year, and they've been great. And from there, it's been, about 3 years ago, we got introduced to the Pro Museum. And the Pro Museum was really our first large-scale interactive installation. And most people in Dallas have been to the Pro Museum. They've ran against the T-Rex or raced the cheetah. Right. Hopefully they haven't pulled a hamstring in the process. But it's been a lot of fun starting with that.
That was your project too, the T-Rex and everything?
Yeah, the T-Rex, the cheetah, Jamal Charles racing against, athletes and animals. And it's really the science of running. So we went to that museum after not much museum experience at all. So to go in there and be a part of such a large-scale project there, and never working with a museum before, is kudos to the team. The confidence, the fearlessness, the passion. That's why we were hired for that. And of course, we had some talented, we have talented animators, and we work hard on the whole experience. But just going in there with a fearless mindset that we can do this, and we achieved it. We blew, knocked a huge home run with the Pro Museum.
It's amazing how important that is. No matter what your track record, obviously you want to be able to back it up, right? I mean, that's the winning package, of course, but it's so critical to own it, because that's equally half the battle. You have to know what you're doing, but you got to be able to convey that at every single turn, whether it's to your spouse that you know what you're doing, to a client or a potential client. It's so critical. Right. So absolutely kudos to you and the team to get that across.
Yeah, the client lets you know the primary objectives and what they want as an experience, and what they want the return to be, and that the overall, what the audience and the user needs to be engaged with. And so we go in and we work hard to come up with that creativity, and we collaborate a lot with them to discover what they're, what they want out of it, what their vision is, and then complement that with really good creativity. And the Pro Museum was a really just cool thing in the Dallas community, one of the most innovative places in Dallas. So we're be a part of that.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. So walk me through another like the Vespa. Mm-hmm. Describe what you put together for them, mm-hmm. and then how that came about.
Yeah, augmented reality is, you look at virtual and augmented reality, I mean, those things are going to be just huge. I mean, every day there's a new headset coming out and a new, type of way to reach people through that immersive content. And so with Vespa, typical image tracking and target tracking there. And basically it's a print campaign, and you navigate, use your tool, your phone that's in everybody's, in everybody's back pocket or purse every day.
Right.
So let's use those tools. And so with that, we want to take it a whole lot further than just having something gimmicky or a 3D image that's rotating or bouncing around on there. So we want you to create and customize your own Vespa with your own paint job, different, seat colors and everything. And once you create that through your AR, you can basically test drive it around the table. So it's
right. And I'm going to back you up a little bit just to describe for the people who haven't seen it. So it comes in the example I saw was a magazine ad. Mm-hmm. So it's got the parameters there that, and then what's the interaction on the phone? Is it just cameras, a certain app? Is it a?
Yeah, so we built a pretty slick user interface and everything. And once that's triggered there on, using the app and you trigger that with the marker, which is the print ad, mm-hmm. Then you automatically see the Vespa pop up on that ad. And a lot of people have used AR at this point, but it may not be as interactive. So we want to push it as far as we could. Yeah. So we want you to customize that Vespa right there on the fly, clicking through the colors, the textures, and everything. And then you can peel out and drive it around the table. You can use GPS in there to locate a dealer near you. You can post your custom Vespa to social media. So it has a lot of cool interactive components instead of just some 3D element that you can change colors. You can test drive the thing. You can totally interact with it, move it around, rotate it. So really cool. But to your question, to your point, it's triggered from a print ad.
Yeah, and that's it's so slick. And obviously we see. But just like you said, we see all indication that we're going to augmented reality, mm-hmm. virtual reality, and there's different debates certainly on what's going to be a little more prevalent stuff. And I think I don't think it's a beta VHS argument. I don't think necessarily right. One's going to dominate, totally win out. But certainly the case for augmented reality is that it's less all-encompassing. Like people are more likely to do it here, do it there, mm-hmm. and that kind of vibe. Is it? What kind of reaction are you getting from brands right now as far as which direction they want to go?
Oh yeah, I mean every brand, every organization needs innovation, so they're always looking to stay ahead of the curve and just to keep up, because a lot of the larger, brands we work with, I mean they're slow moving in a lot of ways. So we complement that with agility and staying on top of the R&D and staying ahead of the curve with innovative technology. So they have to use technology to reach their audiences. We can no longer, commercials aren't working anymore. People just don't watch them with streaming TV, et cetera, as much. And, your billboards, you're probably checking your phone, which you shouldn't do quite so much when you drive. But, traditional marketing isn't working anymore. So we have to reach audiences in new ways. And they know that. And they're on top of all the, consumer data out there that the human being is changing immensely. Mm-hmm. We all have ADD nowadays. We're all impatient as heck. So, how can they definitely, take their brand and build ambassadors and reach audiences in new ways? So it's a constant challenge from them. So we complement that really well.
Yeah. And so it seems like right now it's such, a Wild West and an experimental stage right now, which means a lot of opportunity, right?
Yeah, it's an exciting time, but it really is a challenging time. I mean, technology is finally catching up with our imaginations. Yeah, there's so much we can do with it, and we're learning new stuff every day with different, whether it's infrared and sensors, or the depth cameras and how far they've come, or just how we can build a much better UI. And it's just exciting times. It really is, and I couldn't be more proud of the team and the work we've been able to do. So I'm very thankful.
Yeah, you guys are just really standing up as authorities in this space, and it's amazing when 7 years in this realm is an eternity, right? in technology, period,
It really is.
So helping these brands market themselves and reach other folks, I want to go down a path a little bit. No pun intended.
We are going down.
We are down a path. No, literally, I want to go down a path.
Yeah.
And so for let's say the startup out there, or the newly formed company that wants to differentiate themselves visually. Maybe they want to call during an interview. Maybe they want to do that.
That may happen again.
That's right. And it's the CEO, guys. He's got to take calls. If you need to take a call, that'd be great. We'll just keep rolling. If you need to fire somebody over the phone, we'll keep rolling. It'll be drama. We like it.
There you go.
But so how does somebody, who's not HP, who's not Vespa, kind of dip their toe into this water? Or even if it's not augmented reality, how can they best utilize this visual medium these days to really differentiate themselves?
That's a great question. You look at the challenger brands and they're all so hungry and everybody's fighting for that market share, but you really do, to be innovative, you have to stay on top of the R&D. And I like millennials these days. I think it keeps people young and fresh, and we like to have a good balance, in our office and studio. And I think people just need to listen more, listen to all demographics and listen to their audience and consumers as much as they possibly can and just stay ahead of the curve.
In what way? Like, what should they be asking to even listen for?
Great question. What types of tools are people using these days? What kind of apps are people using, and staying on top of those? It changes daily. So,
sure.
Just staying on top of that is huge. And that's where I think the millennials, they know so much more than most of us because they're in it every day, But with brands looking to stay more innovative, it's just, I think, a better understanding of the overall landscape and really immersing themselves. I think they get stuck down a path. They get a little bit siloed, so they got to think outside the box, way outside of it.
Well, it's a tough balancing act too for anybody running their own business is, keeping up and yet not chasing every little shiny new app and market channel and all of that as well.
Yeah, sometimes it's the Red Queen effect. you feel like you're running as fast as you can, but you're only staying still, right? You're not going anywhere.
Right.
So, yeah, it's interesting. Research is just huge, I read so much, and I challenge everybody that works with us, and whether it's collaboration with contractors or on our internal team, just read and stay on top of the R&D,
What's something you're reading right now?
Oh, The Obstacle is the Way. I'm rereading. I love that book. I couldn't tell you how. It's just incredible. Bold by Peter Diamandis is amazing. Yeah, really, really good. I think everybody, whether you're a startup or a Fortune 50, company, you need to be reading stuff like that because the world is changing so quickly.
Yeah, and that gets you thinking so much bigger and outside of that. Those silos that you talk about. It gets you. And it doesn't mean you have to go, you can't do anything except go unless it's changing the world. But when you think that way more than than a small way, it only leads to expansive thinking, expansive decision making, and
no doubt about it. What's a good book you're reading right now?
Oh man, I'm listening to reading / I'm an audiobook guy. Gary V's latest, where he's answering questions and everything, which is. It's kind of a cheat because he's, it's really an audiobook.
But he's loud. He's so just, you know what I mean? He's buzzworthy. It's huge.
I got a man crush on Gary Vaynerchuk without a doubt, man.
Everybody should.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Love it. And so that's what I'm listening to right now.
Oh, that's a good one.
Yeah, so turning the tables on you at 900 pounds right now, you guys you help people market every day. How are you marketing yourself?
Oh, good question. I appreciate that.
Besides interviews like this.
Yeah, no, thank you again for the opportunity. I'm so excited. I'm freaking driving around in this awesome area.
Are you questioning your decisions in life right now? You're like, has it come to this?
That's right.
Driving around, answering questions from this obnoxious guy.
Oh, man, I'm in the car so often and stuck in traffic. I'd much rather be interviewed by you and get asked these compelling questions, and I really appreciate it. But how we're marketing ourselves, and we are working on a new website right now. I think that's huge. You need to, practice what you're preaching and be innovative yourself, and I'm so excited about our new website. It's so interactive. You've seen The Office, and we're doing a complete redesign of the studio. It has a fireman's pole from the second story to the bottom story.
Yeah, it does.
And it's colorful with graffiti on the walls, and it's just, you got to have a creative environment to promote really solid creativity. And we love having visitors and our clients down to our office, and we've got great interactive VR that you can play with, from good stuff with the Vive to just infrared sensors and what we can do with those in the foreground of being immersed in that space. But just fun stuff. It really is a fun environment. So again, building a great studio and building that culture from within that only extends outward. And then of course, a nice user interface, a great website is key. And then, speaking engagements, I was proud of the team. We've done several of them recently. And a lot of times I'm having the team members speak about what they're passionate about and what they're doing and what their strengths are on the team. So again, culture is key.
What kind of environment or what kind of events are they speaking at, or what kind of opportunities?
Oh, good question. I mean, definitely marketing stuff, is always key. And then of course in the Dallas startup communities is fun, and UI workshops and things like that, how we can help people better their own innovation. And we love talking about what we're doing. We're very thankful,
Oh yeah.
Very thankful.
How often are brands or clients or potential clients down in the studios, and how much does that sort of happen and you get hands-on with them?
They really enjoy getting out of their space, right? Getting out of context, right? Getting out of the day-to-day, especially, corporate America or the cubicle world, and you got to do what you got to do, but getting out of that context and disconnecting and coming out to an innovative lab is a lot of fun. So we want to get more and more people over there, and we're going to have innovation labs and workshops in our space. And as you saw, it definitely will resonate well with that.
Oh yeah. So how can you get even more people in? Because I think there's such an opportunity there to just get more eyeballs on what you guys are doing, and physically in your space. And what's next, kind of for you?
Good question.
Those lines.
Virtual reality is huge because we can virtually transport people to a place they can't easily get to. So let's take them out of context. Let's take them to where they can't easily get to. I think one thing that's really interesting on what's next is initiative we're talking to Children's Health about, and building a holodeck where we can take sick children with cancer whose childhoods are taken away from them, take them out of those hospital rooms, wheel them into a room where they're totally immersed in this environment and seeing visuals of being in the Star in the middle of, AT&T Stadium, or taking them to the Perot Museum because they can't get there because they're sick. And things like that are huge. It's not just doing work with great brands and organizations, but it's doing work for people that really need it, and making an impact on the community. Dallas is such an amazing place. So again, to your question, I think what's next? Virtual reality is definitely huge, but just more interactive experience. I think people need to be immersed in content. And how do we get, more and more brands to understand that? I think they have to right now. They have to be nimble and agile. So they have to come to some of the smaller, more agile, studios.
Oh yeah, because the capabilities that you guys have, and I'd love to dive into that a little more on your specialties and each one of what that sort of means. You're talking depth sensors and cameras and infrared and stuff, and break that down. But all of that stuff it requires a specialist, a specialty to do that. That you're not just going to have the in-house guy who runs social media to go and develop some AR for us.
Yeah, it's true. We really are a bunch of nerds. I can't say that enough, and it's awesome. Back in the day, it was, it wasn't all that fun to be a nerd at times, but nowadays, the nerds are changing the world, right?
Oh yeah,
making an impact. So, we definitely have a lot of specialists, a lot of strengths internally on developers and and animators and interactive designers and UI. It's so important to have a diverse range of those strengths. And, a couple of us, like myself, are more on the front end, and I'm just thankful for what we have internally and our great partners we collaborate with, our AV partners and our fabricators. And, we can do a lot of great stuff, but we have to lean on, those people too and their strengths. And we're totally open to that all the time. So it just means for a better end product.
So you guys like walk us through the T-Rex racing thing. Walk us through exactly what that is, and then how much are you guys, is it, we need, here's an idea, or you just the technology behind it? Are you going in, you're mentioning fabricators and stuff like that. Are you guys overseeing that entire, the physical build and everything?
Yeah, the Pro Run exhibit, we handle about 40% of that, all the content, all the user interface and everything. And our partners, they handled a lot of the AV on that project. And then we had an architect as well that we worked with that was a very, a great one through the Pro relationship. And then, you've got a project like the recent HP project we did where, we transformed a room that was 10 years old and we did the whole thing turnkey and produced the entire project. And so we worked with a great architect and GC. And
describe that one to me, because that was another one that's just stunning. And the reason why you needed that immersive environment, why HP needed it.
Yeah, great question. They have great demo centers all around the world. I think they have about 6 of them, and most of them are just visual content, right? And so they're pushing a visual message to their visitors, and those are a lot of their clients that are Fortune 100, Fortune 500 companies that use their services. So basically, if we're going to bring those visitors in there, let's not just show them visual content. Let's get them interacting with the content, and take them on an immersive journey. And so we created a metaphor that better explained their intangible services. And we brought those services to life in a very tangible way that fully immersed those users. So they're really resonating with the content. And they walk away out of that 20-minute experience with a lot better understanding of what HP can do from a service standpoint. From cloud and big data and apps and mobility. And like I said, those are intangible. So how can we bring those to life? And
describe that room, like the physical structures that you have in there.
It's a big room, and the original design, the architecture did a good job for, 2001, if you will, but we've come a long way since then. Right. So, what could we do with that room that was more than a decade old? Well, it was busy, there was obstructive elements with 5 different pods that gave those services a story, and it was just visual content. So we restructured and redesigned the entire thing, made a very minimalistic environment around it where you have an 11-foot by 4-foot interactive.
So before we were so rudely interrupted by the camera. The camera said no more talking for you, Steve.
It was too much
awesome. So just you're in the middle of describing this room. So give me back to that table, that 11 by whatever it was table.
Yep.
The interactive table.
By 4-foot interactive touch table, and it really is the focal point in the middle of the experience. And you've got 10 to 12 users. It's driven by an ambassador who runs the story and really makes it custom to the visitors, right? They do their research, and so they customize that. But that table is real-time interaction. So what they choose on that choose your own adventure type of metaphor that we used in the mountain climbing expedition that we created, they get to choose their adventure, and the whole, everything around them basically customizes to that choice, to that user interface and that decision. Gotcha. So it's really cool, really scalable. And when you're immersed in that environment, you've got 18-foot rear projection screens around you. So the room is coming alive, fully 3D rendered content. It's an amazing experience, 20 minutes long. And what you said earlier was really true, in that you really have to see it to understand what we're talking about, because it really is a pretty incredible project. Very thankful.
Where can somebody go to see that and some other examples we've been talking about?
Yeah, the HP experience is in Plano at their corporate headquarters here in Dallas, and they have many other. We actually talked with some of the other experience demo centers recently about doing more interactive, because a lot of theirs is visual content. Of course, you got the Pro Museum. We're working on a lot of stuff right now, from Boy Scouts to America. Boy Scouts of America, they had us up in Canada shooting virtual reality dog sledding just a couple weeks ago, and then awesome. Cole and Jason got to go to Florida Keys to do underwater VR, and so just a lot of stuff going on. The Franklin Institute, we just designed an experience there. We're talking to Lockheed Martin right now. We're in the middle of another Frito-Lay project, so I'm just very, very thankful. There's a lot of stuff going on in the Dallas community that we're working on, and we're grateful for that. Great people like Trey Bowles with, Dallas Innovation Alliance. Just really cool stuff. The startup community here is unreal. It's like turning into a tech hub,
Oh yeah,
so cool.
It's fantastic. So in the couple of the videos that I saw, where can people see those? Those like case study videos. And
oh yeah, you know, we've got a lot on our website and definitely a lot on our new website. And you know, we'll customize. We'll send people links to stuff that we can't show on our site or something that's a little bit, you know.
And your site's 900 LBS.
Yeah, 900lbs.com. Easy to find. Can't forget it.
That's right.
And yeah, 900lbs.com.
That's awesome. And then for those, I think you guys are using, you know, do you guys produce each of those case studies like that I was looking at and stuff like that? So, yeah, I think you guys are using video to tell that story. So, well, I'm a video guy, so obviously, you know, that's what I kind of gravitate to. But it tells that story. Obviously, it's such a visual, you know, product and experience that you're designing, but you incorporate that case study aspect of it so well and get that client testimonial and really you guys do that well. So
thank you, I appreciate that. You know, it's one of those things too where how can we scale that project? How can we take a project like HP or you know, or the Perot Museum and take it out of those walls? How can they scale that project up to make it mobile? How can they, you know, extend the experience onto social? And so case study videos and making vignettes and the stuff we're doing like with ZTE with their new phone launches, and, you know, taking those visual stories and how far can we push it, you know?
Yeah.
So it's really important to tell a good visual story. As you know, talented guy right here, by the way. You guys see his stuff. Yeah. He's a really talented guy.
That was what the entire question was about. It was just leading to that.
You just set it up.
Exactly. I wasn't even listening until you said that last part.
Exactly right.
Well, this is awesome. So head to 900pounds.com. What about on social? Find you there?
Yeah, 900 pounds on all the social.
Nice.
And we're easy to find. So.
Well, this is awesome. And I'll make sure we scream it from the rooftops what you guys are doing and show it around.
I'm really thankful to be in the car with you and just strolling around, and you know, and it's just fun to be here in Bishop Art. So those of you that haven't visited this area down here, please get down here because it is awesome.
Yes, and I'm lost right now, so we're going to find our way back.
Let's see.
Thanks for being on, Steve.
We want to go that way.
Oh, well, what are you going to do?
Yeah, it's true. It's true. Roll with the punches. The obstacle is the way.
I hope you enjoyed that episode with Steve. Again, awesome guy. I love what they're doing over there. Make sure you head over to 900pounds.com. That's the numbers 900lbs.com. Go search them. You'll be blown away. And I know it's still not the same as being immersed right in front of their technology and having it on your face and having it all around you, but you'll get a good sense of it on their site. That's just amazing. And then do reach out to him, follow along on social, and see all the amazing things that they're doing. So thank you again for checking this out. Please subscribe to this channel and get more interviews like these with Steve, and we'll talk to you later.
It's Saturday night. It was Saturday night and I'm feeling kinda silly. Winter coat on cause the air was chilly, but I'ma make my way out to the record spot. Gotta find some new breaks for the beats to rock. I gotta come with the flavor like some lifesavers. On now and later's Dr. Beatmaker. If I'm a player, it's like your tape deck. And if you miss the gig, then take a rain check. Stacks of wax piled high to the ceiling. Need a U-Haul truck if I would think about stealing, but it's not my steed, so I commence with the digging, no kidding. Something that'll keep the beats hitting what I'm getting. So much to choose from, bro.